just seen something that came across my desk on social that, and it may not be official, may not be real. The news just came across my desk, and you just put a post out about it on Edgewood Instagram. Idris Elba may have that chance to become that James Bond. James Bond is no longer in the hands that it used to be in. It's now in Amazon hands, buddy. They can decide now. Is it possible that we may get a new James Bond, or could that Idris Elba really come to fruition? Tell me.
So what? Oh, that's what it was. I think I hit that. So what's the question? You want me to tell you about my take on Idris Elba of him being it,
Is
or
it is it possible we could get a different version of a James Bond due to the fact that it's in Amazon hands now, not the original owners, the barber lady? You know, he they say he dropped an extra $1 billion to get creative control. He may
Mhm.
use who he wants as James Bond. Is it possible we could see a new James Bond,
well, we definitely gonna see a new one.
an African American James Bond?
Okay, so from what I understand, Amazon is rolling around these ideas about making the franchise have its various parts to it. That's what I'm understanding. So, from what I understand, there could be a you know a Felix Leiter. Felix Leiter was the African American. He was the African American in it before. There is Money Penny. She was the African American who was in it on the last one. So both of them were black, and then they were talking about making a television or a Netflix or a streaming version of the James Bond, but just breaking it out. I think personally, it would be very interesting to do one about Q Branch. I think that one tells a bigger story because what they were saying was that if you use a Felix Leiter, it's just going to be another CIA, a special about a CIA operative. There's nothing because if you're talking about Felix Leiter without James Bond, like what Felix Leiter does on a day-to-day basis without James Bond being around, then you're just pretty much making a show about a CIA operative. If you do a show about Miss Moneypenny, then you're pretty much just doing a show about the secretarial duties of Miss Moneypenny without James Bond around, and that's just a female operative, a film about a female um, MI6. So, but I think Q Branch, on the other hand, keeps you in the world of James Bond without actually using James Bond. And then if you want me to give you my take on Idris Elba, the only thing that I would ask is that Idris Elba hit the gym because he still has that look of that sophistication. He can still pull it off physically. We just got to get him back to the gym so he can get that slim physique that he had before.
Well, to a lot of ladies out there, Idris, he a sex symbol, man. You know, he's a little eye candy for a lot of women still out here.
Amazon is thinking about the future for the youth, and I don't know if Idris Elba is a sex symbol for a 13, 14-year old.
Well, James Bond, regardless of who they may cast, Amazon, he a 45-plus-year-old character anyway, right? At least 45 plus.
Right, exactly.
Wouldn't Idris ever fit that?
I think he would be fantastic. I just would want him to. The last photograph I seen him, he had that cool leather jacket. He was with his wife, and they were at Louis Vuitton fashion show, and he was just a little plump. So to be James Bond, you have to physically look like you can do that, do those particular feats.
Now I don't know if that is true. Obviously, that's been in talks for a long time. But
Hmm.
obviously, 007 James Bond being in Amazon hands, they may spice it up a little bit. Do you think the audience is ready for a different type of James Bond, or they just need to keep the original pieces they got in there? James Bond doing his thing and nothing other than what we've been getting in the past, or is it time to change it up?
I'm obviously going to be a little biased because I'm an African American myself. So obviously, I would love it if there was a character who was a masculine character, who was sophisticated, charming, um, and who was also, African American. I think that would be great. Coming from myself, do I think that the entire world, because James Bond is beloved in Asia, he's beloved in Europe, he's beloved in obviously America and South America. So we have all these other different perspectives on what they believe in. But yeah, I would love it if they flipped it, and just to add, I was very impressed with the African American female that they had in the last one. I thought she did a great job, and though I couldn't consider her to be a sex symbol for myself, I wouldn't say that I was like physically attracted to her, but at the same time that wasn't the goal. There was enough women in it, uh, that she didn't have to be if she was gonna be the main James Bond. But yeah, they have the opportunity to do a lot of different things with this franchise, and if using an African American lead in it is something that they want to play with, you know, I I I wouldn't be the one to try to stop them.
Do you think that a cause? You think the world, the fans, the long-term fans like yourself will be excited about a change like that? Because it was a little controversy, outside of the big controversy of the Rachel Ziegler girl being Hispanic, or whatever her nationality is,
Mm,
when she was playing Snow White. It
mm,
was like, she's not white. Why is she playing Snow White?
mm.
James Bond has always been a white character, but I mean, it's still loved. You think people would be you think people have a problem with it, or they accept new changes or accept new things?
How they did it on the last James Bond is that James Bond is white. 007 can be anybody. 007 is a tag, is a number that they give to all of their operatives. Um, so what they did with her was, obviously she's not James Bond. Her backstory isn't an orphanage from Ireland, etc., etc. Um, she would have a different backstory, or in this particular case, if it was Idris, he would have a different backstory. He would be 007, but he would be James Bond. That would be a way. But as far as the fans are concerned, I would ask those same fans, um, what did you think about Ghost? Omari, what's his name? Omari Hardwick.
Hardwick.
Yeah. What did you think about Idris Elba playing in the Fast and the Furious, where he was that bad guy? Like, was were they characters that had that type of sophistication role that you could watch? The same ones who like James Bond. Uh, because if you're a true James, and then I'll wrap it up with this one. I mean, unless you have another question, but if you're a true James Bond fan, if you're really a fan, the color doesn't matter at all.